Hey everybody, it's Tipsy Tuesday! Who's ready for Tipsy Tuesday? What's it called when you do the chicky 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 chicky? Look how pretty!
A fun weekly show where we grab our favorite drink. Salud!
Diana!
I see, it's nice.
We take our bras off.
Somebody just wrote chicken.
And we laugh at people from around the world.
Yeah, I want some cheese and crackers, of course I do.
Sometimes we even have guests.
So put your jammies on.
It's time for Tipsy Tuesday.
How is everybody? It's Tipsy Tuesday. Who's ready to be done? Anybody? Sometime, hey Tamika, sometime around 4:30, my whole body was like, we're shutting down. Anybody? It's just like, girl, go to bed. Does your body do that? Just randomly? And then you start, I know, Lorene, who am I? And then you start to think about, what did I do today that made it so I'm so physically exhausted? That's my day today. Now I have to hurry up and drink this. Jill said, yeah, and then I take a nap. I don't know. I was just like, and I just laid, do you ever just lay on your bed and just not move? But you're not really sleeping. You just lay there and think about all the things you should be doing, but you can't move your body. Anybody? I just flipped over from Missy and you're already here. It's like, you know, when Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days used to do crossover events, that's essentially the handoff between Missy and I. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Missy was at her house and then one day, 5 seconds later, she just showed up? I don't even think if she left her house at that exact moment, she would get here. I don't think so. So Kendra's like, I need to find some ice cream. All right. Here's what I'm going to say. This is what my life has turned into. My life just turned into, I said approximately a year ago that I hated cottage cheese. Let's just do it. She's like, oh, she's going to start on the cottage cheese. I said I hated cottage cheese, that it was disgusting, and I don't know why somebody would make lumpy cheese. And then I gave up sugar for Lent. And then somebody sent me, or I saw on my feed, that you could make chocolate mousse, and I was starving because I gave up sugar, and I was desperate. I was cottage cheese desperate. And so I was like, if this is remotely close to being chocolate mousse, then I'll do it. And I did, and it was fantastic. Now, when I say fantastic, I mean I haven't had gluten or sugar or joy in a year. So when I say fantastic, it tasted like mousse adjacent. You understand? Well, Janice, I wasn't, and I was like, well, this is it. This is as far as you can take cottage cheese. And then ever since then, and tell me if you guys are seeing this in your feeds, literally every day, a new cottage cheese recipe will show up in my feed, just purporting to do magical things. One day you could make cottage cheese peanut butter cookies. The next day you can make cottage cheese apple cake. Yeah, you're going to see it now. Your feeds are going to be filled with cottage cheese. And here's what I want you to know. I've saved all of them and I'm making all of them. Lisa, now that I said it, I'm going to ruin your feed. How will I do it? Cottage cheese. It's like, right? Are they making flatbread out of it? I want you to make cottage cheese bread. What? Viola, I'm telling you, it's disgusting. However, if you take cottage cheese and you put it into a blender or a word processor, you can make an essay. No, food processor. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, Shakendra, you know I don't lie about my recipes. I just saw a frozen cottage cheese bark right before you came on. I'm telling you, high protein, all add cottage cheese to everything. But I'm telling you, Sherry, a year ago, was it a year ago, 6 months ago? I'd have been like, "Ooh." But I was desperate. And you say the word chocolate or mousse or together, I'm it. I'm like, sure, let's just do whatever, because it can't. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. That's how I'm going to get my book to market. I'm going to add cottage cheese. Mm-hmm. The cottage cheese pizza bowl is great. I don't even know what those words mean altogether. I don't care for cottage cheese, but they make cheesecake with it. No, they with cheesecake is regatta cheese or cream cheese, right? I don't think it's lumpy cheese. Lisa, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. When I was little, my mom would make cottage cheese, sweetener, and cinnamon, and put it on raisin bread. Weight Watchers recipe. Yeah. Uh huh. I eat lactose-free cottage cheese. I think I just bought that, Katie. Mm-hmm. I know. Cottage cheese is to Dina as beans are to Diana. I know. I know. I can't do it, Jill. It's just so crazy. It's just, I don't know. It's just so, literally everything in my feed is a cottage cheese recipe. I don't know. It's just funny to me. Um, yeah, Judy, you would love it. Mm-hmm. I know. Listen, I have a food processor. I don't ever use it because, well, my kitchen's been a little janky lately. But in my dream, I live in a very fancy house, and my food processor is on the countertop and get used every day. And I make pesto. Tell me in your fantasy world, when you were a youngin' and you're like, when I have a house, I'm gonna do blank. And now that you have one, you never do blank. You know what I'm talking about? Like in my fantasy, I have a library filled with books and I sit and read. This is the only time I sit. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hmm. Like, what are the things that you're just like, oh, in my dreams, I would have blah, blah, blah. And this is your dream. You could do it, but you don't. Have a chef. I'd be the lady that grinds her coffee. Mm. Mm-hmm. Make your own bed, churn your own butter. Michelle, you know she'd be making crackers. I'd have a pool, but I don't have one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would be skinny, said Felicia. I would kill for a big old kitchen. Um, it's just funny. Oh, when I was a kid, I was going to have clean sheets and towels every day when I grew up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. A self-cleaning house. Mm-hmm. My 11-year-old says that one day she has her own home. She's going to keep it organized and clean. Ironically, she can't keep her room clean, and she throws all the trash around the house on the floor. Start now, daughter. Start now. A chocolate fountain with fresh fruit, just going all the time. I'd have a boom boom room, said Shakendra. A boom boom room. Are you saying what I think you're saying right now? 2 days after a church day? Is that what you just said? You'd have a boom boom room? Huh. Interesting. Shakendra. How many other people want a boom boom room? How many people got a boom boom room? I never heard of a boom boom room. I'll go good old boom boom room. You making this up? Google, what is a boom boom room? I found an article written by a boom boom room. Oh. Hmm. Oh. Oh, you get on Urban Dictionary. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. Can learn a lot on the Urban Dictionary. Mm-hmm. Here's Noelle. In my dreams, I'd have a fancy French bakery. She's kind of just like, I got a boom boom room. Huh. Oh, what's the boom boom room? Oh, yeah, Shakendra. Mm-hmm. Jill? Mm-hmm. Okay, boom boom. Is it Shakendra Boom Boom Tombs now? Oh, it is. It is. It's official. It's official. That's what it is. Joe Mama and I got to the same place at the same time. 50 Shades of Boom Boom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want to live in Haddonfield and have a maid. I want a dance studio in my house. Mm-hmm. It's the hit it and quit it room. What is everybody saying right now? Huh. I would die for a dishwasher. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, Shakendra. Well, there's that. So, mm-hmm. I want a bar and a bartender. Could you imagine, like, the funny thing is if a youngin said they had a boom boom room versus a 50 plus boom boom room. Like, it might have the same stuff, but it's got like a wrist brace on the, like it has like all kind of crazy stuff on the wall. But the 50 plus room also has like Bengay in the corners, got some Advils. It's got like a heating pad. Yeah, Shakendra got awful quiet. Where'd she go? Where'd Shakendra go? Where'd she go? Where's Shakendra Boom Boom Booms? Hmm. Okay. No, Joe Mama, that's not what they call them. We're all learning something. Mm-hmm. Some of these ladies need some sexy time pretty badly. Mm-hmm. I mean, Melanie, who knows? You got questions. Shakendra's your answer. She's your go-to. Mm-hmm. Some Geritol. Mm-hmm. I would hire somebody to clean the toilets. Mm-hmm. I'm too tired for a boom boom room. Yeah, the boom boom room is next to the recovery room. It's got an extra addition put onto it if you're over 50. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Shakendra disappeared. Mm-hmm. She's probably working on the drawings now. She's like, guys, let me draw it out for you. She got schematics. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I want more than one bathroom. That is pretty fancy. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. It took Shakendra a long time to get this name, but it is perfect. Mm-hmm. A leave me alone room. Different than a boom boom room. Mm-hmm. You think she's changing her name right now? She would set the record for changing her name so quickly. I want a 5-car garage. Jim Wagner. What, for the chickens? Mm-hmm. I just got here. What on earth are you people talk about? Girl, don't show up late. Don't show up late for this show. Mm-hmm. IV poles for hydration. A nurse comes in. Mm-hmm. It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. All right. Well, I think we all learned something, mostly about Shakendra, I think. I don't really remember any of your answers now. Just Shakendra's. There you go. Hope she went to church this week. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Boom, 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 in my zone zone. Mm-hmm. What in the Tiffany Hall? Here's Andrea. I want to own a house at the beach and look at the ocean. Have you talked to Shakendra? She got a room in this house? Don't listen. If you get this house, Andrea, Shakendra calls, she's like, listen, Andrea, I was thinking about coming to visit. Be like, you're gonna have to be in the bunk bedroom with a lot of other people. Can you please tell me the dating app you met Jason on? Yes, Diane. It's called Jason.com. No, I'm like kidding. It's called Bumble. It's on Bumble. And yeah, there were some not so great experiences across all the dating apps. I can't wait for the memes. Oh, girl, you know, Jody's working on them now. Mm-hmm. Please rewind tonight's conversation. It started out as a nice lady conversation, and only one person made a left turn. And you know who that person was? Shakendra Boom Boom Toombs. I met him at wawa.com. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How long were you on Bumble before you met Jason? I think 4 months. 4 months. And a lot of bad dates. Mm-hmm. Oh, I still love burn haystack method. I'm telling you, entertaining. Mm-hmm. So I'm just drinking bubbly water. I drink a lot of bubbly water. And anytime that I'm going to have a drink, which I'm about to, I like to try to just drink water before I do. Yeah, there's a Wawa opening here next week. Let's see what happens. Uh-huh. Yeah, listen, just so we're clear, this conversation started about cottage cheese and took a turn. And that sounds accurate for how our show goes. So, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, did you see Di's video today? So Di has some planters at her house that she was like, I'm not going to use these planters. Why don't you bring them over to Jason? So I'm trying to get everything ready for Thursday morning. So Andrew's coming, Di's coming, everybody coming to plant some flowers. I got to pick up some more tomorrow. And so I went over her house today, and she was digging the dirt out, putting it in bags so we could transport these planters, the whole thing. And before I knew it, she came out to take care of the hose, and she had her beach shoes on. Once I saw the beach shoes, I was like, summer has officially begun. So it's official. I don't know when summer officially opens, but in New Jersey, it's like Groundhog Day when you see the groundhog and you get like 6 more weeks of winter. As soon as Diana shows up in her beach sneakers, then the summer has begun. And if you missed my Instagram reel, then that's what happened. Today, the beach sneakers came out. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I know. She was using her beach shoes in the driveway because she was trying to get the hose to work. Just joining. What did I miss? Oh, a lot. We started talking about cottage cheese, and then Shakendra stood up in front of everybody and did like an AA confessional, but about her boom boom room. I don't know if that made sense, but it's exactly what happened. And now she'll be only referred to as Shakendra Boom Boom Toombs. And that's pretty much wraps up the night. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's good times. Um, so anyway, tonight Jacqueline texted me and said, Mom, you need to move up here. If you lived up here, you would be in the Comedy Cellar. And then I texted her back and I said, oh my gosh, I have been waiting for you to ask me to move in with you. I accept. I couldn't be there this week. And then I didn't hear from her. She's probably cleaning out my room for me because she was probably like, I wish my mom lived with me. And, I wanted to give her some time on her own first, but it's time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if Jacqueline cleans my room, my space up. Dean has been auditioning for a whole bunch of summer stock. Do you guys know what that is? So, he's trying to do all of like the trying to find, so a summer stock is when young actors and actresses, they all take jobs. You know what's a perfect example of summer stock? Dirty Dancing. Mm-hmm. So Dirty Dancing is like they have auditions and you go to places where there's like a lot of tourists or they have like theater, like a summer theater program. And you audition for it. And if you get a role, then they give you a place to live. They give you a stipend per week and yada, yada, yada. Jessica, that sucks. That hurts a lot. So he was doing some auditions this week. And I think he said the only role that was left, the show is called I don't know if you know this, Andrea. She's always my go-to theater person. It's not a musical. It's something, The Last Tenor or something. It's a theater show, but there is one song in it. It's an Italian song. Yeah, you are Shikendra. Boom boom. I mean, you can not change it. Let's see, you call you Shikendra Boom Boom. And who can you blame for that? The answer is you. And who are you? Shikendra Boom Boom. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jen, go back and watch this. You can unpack it for sure. Mm-hmm. Um, so say some prayers. Um, hold on. Oh, she's gonna change it, Meredith. She just doesn't know it. Mm-hmm. So Lois, I don't know. He did. I don't know if he got the role. He just auditioned, but he said he said he walked into the room, and every single guy in the room looked exactly like him. And so he said it's very weird to walk into a room where everybody looks like you and everybody's auditioning for the same role. So we'll see. I know, Terry. Suzanne, I was pretty much on time tonight, 9:00 on the dot. Look, even Molinay said, Kendra, you know the roles. So there's that. There's that. Mm-hmm. Anywho. Hey Moon, how you doing? I feel like I'm definitely feeling this. I don't know. Oh, so today I'm bebopping around town and I'm supposed to meet with Brooke. And it's Lend Me a Tenor. Man, Andrea, you're so good. That was the show. It was called Lend Me a Tenor. Anyway, so I'm sitting, so I haven't had a kitchen for like a week. So anytime it's lunchtime, I usually just go to like a Chick-fil-A or a Chipotle and I sit in the parking lot and I watch TV. I watch Netflix. Usually Love on the Spectrum, but I've already finished the series. So I'm sitting, and it's a beautiful day, right? So you put the windows down, and there's a beautiful breeze coming through. It's basically my heaven. And I'm sitting there today. I guess I was sitting there too long with my windows down. And I'm on the phone. I was talking to Missy. I'm watching TV. And then I sneeze. And the man next to me, also eating his Chipotle, he was like, "Hey, God bless you." I was like, "Oh, hello, sir." I said, "You know these allergies?" He was like, "Girl." That's how I guess people communicate lunch now. Yeah, Sherry, I can't wait. I hope she records it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens. Oh, how did your visit with Sally go? So, Linda, let me tell you. So last Friday, I went with music in hand to go see Sally Johnson, who was the official traveling companion for Miss New Jersey for 50 years. And I was all ready to play the piano and entertain all the people. But when we got there, there's a beautiful piano in the lobby. And I said to the lady, "Will I be able to play the piano?" And she goes, "Oh, absolutely. They would love it." And I said, "Okay, I'm going to just go and grab Sal, and then we'll come back down." She goes, "Okay." Well, we come back downstairs to the lobby, and there's no one at the piano, but I look over, and there's a lady, because Sally goes, "Oh, you might not be able to do it because they started the exercises." And I was like, "What?" And I look around. I don't see anybody exercising, but that was my fault. That was my fault. We do Joe Coyle anytime. I'm over in Jersey Tuesday, Thursdays. Let me know. Let me know your schedule. So she says they just started exercise class. I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see anybody exercising. She goes, "They're exercising right there." There's a lady, Betty. Betty's at the front. She goes, "Everybody ready?" Now they're all sitting in wheelchairs. She goes, "Everybody ready? Let's exercise. Here we go. To the right." I was like, what's happening? She goes, "To the left." I think half of them were sleeping. But I was like, "So we can't play the piano?" She goes, "Oh no, you can't interrupt. This is a big exercise time." And I was like, "Okay, so I guess we'll wait." And then by the time we waited, it was time for lunch. She goes, "Well, you can't play during lunch." So then we went to lunch. By the time we came back, Sally had to go. So it was a whole thing. But anywho, we had a good time. I'm going to try to go back and visit her very soon. So it was all good. All right, everybody. As I mentioned this morning, we had Zach Peterson on the morning show. And tonight we have another great guest who will be with me at the Vail Comedy Festival over Memorial Day weekend. If you're around the area, come on out. I know that Zach said he's heading out by himself. I'm heading out by myself. We'll have to find out if our next guest is coming stag or bringing a friend. But you're going to love her. Let me introduce our guest tonight is Whitney Rainer. She's a Los Angeles-based comedian who performs all over the country. She's an oversharer by nature, which I love. Her comedy is witty, irreverent, and hopefully relatable. I'm sure it is. Her credits are making her therapist laugh, paying every parking ticket on time, and being accepted to the Vail Comedy Festival. Please help me welcome Whitney Rainer. All right, let me bring her in. Hey, Whitney.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
It's good. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. I saw you were in and out. And I was like, I don't want to bring her on unless we're good. Are you okay?
I know. Oh, I'm fine. I'm terrible at scheduling. I didn't realize we were in different time zones. So I was like, oh, 9 p.m. California time.
I
It's
did too.
fine. And then I got the text and I'm sitting at the Hollywood Improv. I'm like, oh, I got things to do. I got to get out of here. So we're fine. We're fine. My phone's charging now. Yeah, we're good to go.
That's awesome. So is that home? Has that always been home for you, or did you move there?
I moved here almost 4 years ago. I was in South Carolina before, and that's where I started comedy.
Awesome. I was going to say, Whitney, you're so young. Are you in your 20s?
No, I'm 32.
You're adorable, Whitney. People must tell you look 24, though, right?
I do get that. It's the round cheeks. It's the chubby cheeks. Once those go away, it'll give
No,
it.
that's awesome. You got the good genes. That's so fun. So how long have you been doing stand-up?
About 4 years now.
That's awesome. And what were you doing before? What made you decide to kind of take the plunge?
It was like in the middle of the pandemic. I was living in South Carolina. I didn't know anyone yet because I moved right before all that happened. So I thought, well, okay, if I try this here and it's terrible, I don't know anyone. So I'm not going to lose anything. I'll just never leave my house again. And that's fine.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then I did it, and everyone's so nice there. And it went well enough, and I was drunk enough to think it went well enough. And we've been doing it ever since, honestly.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so, did you know anybody in Los Angeles? That's a big move, right?
I know it is. I actually did know some people because I work in advertising. So there's a lot of advertising friends here that I know. And I also have some cousins out here. So that made it kind of easier too.
That's awesome. Now, so like, did you know anybody in comedy? Like what? So my daughter, it's so funny. So my daughter and my son are doing stand up now, and you remind me so much of my daughter. You guys are so young. So was there somebody that you knew that was doing stand up and that kind of inspired you? Like what
It
was,
was more peer pressure than inspiring. I had a coworker who had been doing it for a while, and he somehow had gotten wind at that, like, oh, Whitney kind of wants to try it. So he said, all right, well, the open mic's on Thursday. If you don't show up then, you're never going to do it. You're going to chicken out forever. And nothing like some peer pressure to get me to do anything. I'm like, okay, I'll show you. So then I'm immediately like, what am I going to talk about? I have no idea. So luckily your first mic there is only 3 minutes. So it's only so much time.
and was that Charleston? Is that in South Carolina?
That isn't Love Charleston, but this was in Greenville.
Greenville. So I've gone down to like the Comedy Cabana in Myrtle Beach.
That place. Yeah.
I was going to say, it feels like there was a lot of people from South Carolina coming up. Is that like, how is that drivable, I guess, for you, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'd probably just be like a couple hours.
Yeah.
I would do shows in Charleston sometimes. I feel like Greenville, they have a small scene, and so they kind of come together with like the Columbia, South Carolina comics, the Charleston, even like the Asheville, North Carolina. They kind of make their own one big scene together.
Yeah. And so you describe your comedy as witty, irreverent, and hopefully relatable. Like, how would you describe? Because I watched my daughter, and my daughter's so funny. I think she's hilariously funny, but there's some things she says, and I'm like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. And she was like, "You're so old and ridiculous," and then we go back and forth.
Yeah, I just did some shows in the South. Like I grew up in Virginia, so I started there, went to South Carolina and a bunch of other places. And the show in Virginia, it was mainly my mom's friends, like my mom and dad's friends. And so I could tell that a lot of things just kind of whiffed over their heads. I'm just like, all right, moving on. This is fine.
It does. And it's funny because I feel like it goes both ways. Like when I got the call for this festival, I was like, I feel like everyone is going to be 20 and I'm going to be the only 52-year-old on this thing. And then I met vet Kevin. You just see Kevin's on. He's a veterinarian. Do you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, so him and I will be in the same age group. I think we're the old people on the show. But it's funny. And, you've got to be able to eventually play both and,
totally.
Hopefully
the one room I'll never master is the senior living home or senior citizens home. I did one show there. They just wanted to sing songs. That's all they wanted.
That's all you have to do. Yeah.
Just throw in a happy birthday or whatever. We can get them all on tune together. I'm like, all right, forget my jokes. Forget I even tried.
But that's part of it is like you go into it like I'm going to do this and nothing's going to take me off of this. And then you're like, the world doesn't want this.
Yeah, I'm the last thing they want.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So tell me, have you been to Vail? I've never been to Vail before. Have you been to Vail?
No, I haven't.
No.
I've been somewhere in Denver for a bachelorette, some sort of ski place. I don't remember. It was years ago, but.
All right. And are you bringing anybody with you or are you going by yourself?
I didn't know you could bring someone. So I'm just coming by myself.
Yeah, me too. And so I was like, and I asked my daughter, I was like, Jacqueline, why don't you come with me? And she was like, and then do what? Just watch you do stand up. And I was like, okay. Thought we could hang out. Yeah.
That doesn't sound so fun.
I know. For some reason, she doesn't want to hang out with me, but whatever. Gee, what do your parents think about you doing stand up?
At first, they didn't like it. They were like, it's going to get you fired from your job. Like, absolutely not. But now that they've seen me do it a few times, they're like, "Oh no, this is so good for you. This makes sense now. We're into this."
That's so funny. I was gonna say I still feel like you're so young. Like the people that you grew up with, like when they found out you were doing stand-up, were like, oh, do they say like that makes sense now?
If they were like my close friends, it makes sense. Like I feel like I was very quiet for the
Yeah.
most part, so a lot of people were like, "What, she talks like
Yeah.
that into a microphone? What comes out? What sound is happening?" Like
Yeah.
they are probably so confused. But
Yeah.
my close friends are like, "Yeah, of course. Yeah, she's been shit talking this whole time."
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Sebastian, I know you're in Denver. This is the Vail Comedy Festival, and it is Memorial Day weekend. So if anybody is in the area, I think the nice thing about this is that if you look at the roster of comedians, they are really different. And
Yeah.
I've never done a comedy festival before, so
Me neither.
right. So everybody was like, well, which nights are you performing and where? I'm like, I have no idea.
No idea.
I was like, I think we move around a little bit and do 5 minutes here or there. The funny thing is the rule for this festival was that you can't, they're all 5 minute sets and you can't do the same 5 minutes twice. And it was like, how many 5 minute sets can you do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't ever do 5 minute sets. So I was like,
Right.
So it is kind of funny that like, have you been like stressing about like crafting these 5 minutes?
I didn't even know they were 5-minute sets. So I've just been kind of waiting. Like I know I have like 30, but what am I doing? Is it 3 10-minute sets? Is it a bunch of 5? Yeah, knowing it's 5 is helpful.
Yeah, that's helpful. But I was like, I don't usually do them in 5s. And so I feel like by the time you get started, they're like, and you're done. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's gonna be fun. So, I think there's gonna be a time where we're just gonna be wandering around the city. But they seem to be very organized. And we had Mark on a couple weeks ago. So he was kind of laying out how it all got started, which was super interesting. So well, good. So tonight you're at the Hollywood Improv, is that it?
Well, I was just at the open mic today. But my name got pulled as soon as I left to like figure this out. And so then they were like, okay, well, you can go on the mic tomorrow. So I missed my spot today, but now I get to go up tomorrow guaranteed. So
Okay, good. I'm sorry.
like, that was my big plan.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on moving out there and starting up. It's really hard to do. So I'm in the Philly market, and I know like a lot of the people who started here moved out to LA. And it's really hard out there,
It's so hard. Yeah.
Trying to get stage. I mean, I'm sure same thing with South Carolina. You find your group in Philly and you're like, oh, I know my people. They know who I am. They'll give me time. But I heard it's really hard to get stage time out there. And
yeah, especially a stage time that's not the type of show where it's like you have to bring 10 people and like just everyone and it's like, I can't do that every time. This is out of here. But I remember when I moved here, I thought I had like 20 minutes of material and then quickly realized it was maybe 7.
Exactly. It's the same in New York. I thought I had like 25 minutes. And then the first time I went to New York, you're listening to the people in front of you and the jokes per minute are so fast. And so I knew that. And by the time I went up there, I was talking so fast because I was like, my tempo was too slow. And then it turned into 7. And so I was so excited because it went well. But then I was like, I just lost 19 minutes of material.
Yeah. Now I have.
It was
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Starting over. Well, good for you. Congratulations on doing it. I didn't start doing stand-up until I was 30 and I already had 2 kids. And so I was never able to kind of do the official move. But it's nice to see all you youngins doing it, and I'll have to put you in touch. If you get a chance, you can look up my daughter. I think she's Stinky Weird Girl on Instagram. You can find her.
Love
and
that.
My son is there too. Yeah, she's something. She's something special. So Michelle just posted you can follow Whitney at Whitney Rainer on Instagram. And do you have a website too, Whitney?
Not for comedy. It's like my work portfolio. You don't want to see that.
That'll be for the next time we see you, Whitney.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thanks so much for joining us. I look forward to meeting you in Vail.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to meeting you too.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, bye.
Bye. She's adorable. I love it. Just gives me Jacqueline vibes and all of the good things. I know she does look like Natalia. I know all the youngins, Tanya. Look at them, all their taunt skin, their 31-year-old skin, adorable and beautiful. I love it. You know what I love about stand up is that in some ways you could probably talk to a million comics and you'll hear 12 different stories, a million different stories about how people get started and how what their journey is like. But on the same hand, even though they're all so different in how they got there still will be a common thread, which is there's something about them that from the moment they got on stage, they fell in love with stand up. And that there is a grind. There is a, should I be doing this? Am I on the right track? Am I getting any traction? Am I in the right place for this? And, I think that that's the thing that I love about stand up so much. And even listening to Zach's story, Zach came to stand up from music. Yeah. So it just, and then we had somebody else come to stand up as being a veterinarian. So you just never know, the twists and turns. And so I always tell people like, I know I do. I feel like her mom. I might be able to be funny in 5 minutes. Of course you can. Mooney, I've met you. Mm-hmm. It is. It's very cool to hear how everybody kind of came to things and um but so fun. But it'll be interesting to kind of get there and go back to 5-minute sets. And most of the time as a comic, once you've mastered your 5-minute set, like that's your 5 minutes. Like you don't usually go, well, now I've mastered this. Let me go try another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. So, but he said the audiences are super excited and I just, love being out there. And the nice thing is that they're so close to each other. They're all like within walking distance. So hopefully it'll be nice to just kind of get out there and check the place out. And yeah. So did the Phillies win? I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. I don't know. It's very funny. I can get the temperature of the Phillies by just talking to Stephanie and Chris and Wendy and just looking at their collective faces during we have our weekly meetings. And when I get on the Zoom and I see the three of them like this, I'm like, I guess we didn't win. And then they go, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be nice, Janice, to kind of meet everybody this way and then see them all in person. I'm going to probably be the only one that knows everybody. I'll be like, this is Kevin. He started out doing this, but then he moved to this. Now Zach was in a band. Like it will be very funny having met everybody. And then Michelle said, like, there's only like 3 weeks until this festival. And we want to try to make sure we give everybody a chance to kind of be on the show and meet them. So I think on some shows we have 2 people on the same show. Will you split your material in 5 and do the same? We're not allowed to do the same 5 minutes. Yeah, Anne Marie, if I had my druthers, whatever those are, I would do a 5-minute set and just keep doing the same 5. But you're not allowed to do that. You had to sign. That was part of like saying, I want to be in the festival. You had to say, I promise to not do the same jokes ever. And to just be doing 5 minutes. So no, I'm not emceeing. I'm not sure what the lineups will look like. So we'll see. So yeah. Tanya. So yeah, it feels like it's so far away. And then like I'm going to be like, I should pack. Does anybody know what I'm wearing? It's going to be like that. Andrea sent me a picture of her outfit for Quebec's Friday night. Do you know how many 5-minute sets you'll be performing? So you had to say on the piece of paper how many 5-minute sets that you're going to do. And I was like, I guess 5 or 6. I don't know. I don't know. No one's ever asked me that question. So I think I said 5 or 6. I'm not really sure. And so, yeah, I'm not sure what that means in the long run. Okay, good. Yeah, Tanya, please. I have a dress. I just don't have a hat. I don't know. I can ask Di if she wants to go to Vale. God forbid. Yeah. The theme for Friday night, because we are in Quebec, has a lot of French inspiration. What did we say it was? It was like French something. What did we tell you? Wendy had a fancy name for it. But like you would have a hat on, with like the thing that does that. Or like a feather. I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what name we called it. But it's like French cafe, is that what we said? So I have like a little like dress I got at the Goodwill. It's got some flowers on it, and then I just need something. I'm ordering Carl's sport coat and hat tonight. It'll be nice. Is it a French chic brunch or something? Yeah, like Kentucky Derby. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up. French garden party. I think that's what it was. French garden party. Because I was like, that's why I had my flowers on. The theme is boom boom. Theme is boom boom room. So I don't know what Shikendra gonna wear. Fascinators. That's what it was. Thank you, Commando. Yeah. Because Wendy kept saying it's a fashionitis. And I was like, I don't think that's, she's like, I think it is fashionitis. I go, I don't want to get that. Okay. There's cream for it. And I think it's a fascinator. And she was like, something like that. And I was like, okay. Les Joses. Also known as the Hussies. Shikendra's meme is locked and loaded. I told my husband he didn't need a jacket. Should I change that? I don't know, Denise. What would a gentleman wear to a French garden party? No pants. If he's at Shikendra's party. Yeah. How many people are going to Quebec? 50 something. 50 something. I'm not sure. Yeah. It is a castle. It's in a castle. Your beautiful bush, does it need to plant on the sun or the shade? Which one? The one that I showed you today? My hydrangea? That one? I don't know which one you're talking about, Christine. Castles have boom boom rooms. I have no idea. That's why I asked. I don't know. I'm not French and I don't cafe or garden. But I think a nice jacket would be nice. Yeah. I'm wear a jacket. Class this thing up. Should we also have gloves to go with the festival? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how fancy you want to be. I'm not that fancy. I usually take Shikendra out during the trip for us to go find my outfit. And then that's it. I don't know, Shikendra. I don't know. Am I disclosing it or is the bourbon disclosing it? I think it's the bourbon. I also think the bourbon is why you told everybody you wanted a boom boom room. At least let's hope that is why. And that's not stuff you usually bring up in conversation at like an Applebee's. She's like, why is she talking about Applebee's? I don't know. I don't know. You would be Pat Quesnel. Quapaznil. Like that. What did I say? Apricot. Oh, the butterfly bush. That butterfly, all of them were like heavy sun. I think you can't kill it. That's what I think. I think it's a very hardy plant. So, I mean, you can check it, but I don't remember them being in the shade when I did it. The butterfly bush. It's a great one. At my 30th or 40th class reunion, someone said I was still as funny as I was in high school. I didn't know anyone thought I was funny, but then my mom tells me I'm the only one that thinks I am funny. You think I have a second career? Maybe, Lisa. You should always try it. I think everybody should try stand-up. Because I just think that whether you choose to be a comedian or not is irrelevant. I think there's two things that happen when you go up to do comedy. I think number one, having the ability and or confidence to get on stage and stand there goes such a long way. And it doesn't matter in whatever occupation you're in. That's number one. It could never hurt you. If you could stomach bombing, you can stomach anything. And you will bomb. Everybody does. That's part of it. You have to have abs of steel. Number two, if you want to be a good comedian, you have to learn how to write. And learning how to write and express yourself in a way that people would want to listen is probably one of the most powerful things you can learn. And so I just, I think it's great. I think it's, I don't see any drawbacks other than low self-esteem, which is a byproduct. And it's like a fine balance between low self-esteem and I'm amazing because I did it. And you just go back and forth. Yeah. I could stand there as long as I didn't have to speak. Yeah, that's the hard part. How do you handle bombing? It's tough. Not well. It depends on the night, Moon. I think when I was younger, and I got a little bbit funny, because that's all you need. You just need a little bit of hope. You're like, I think that was better than it was last week, right? And so you just keep doing it. But I think for me, the way that my brain kind of dealt with kind of that middle section of not really sure if I was funny, was if I did well on a Friday, I knew I would bomb on Saturday. And that was the difference. You know, like now I'll say I'm a comedian, but for years, probably 7 years, I would just say I do comedy. And people say, you're a comedian. And I go, oh, no, I'm not a comedian. I just do comedy. And it took me a long time to say that I was a comedian because I knew comedians and I knew that real comedians could walk into any room and kill, even in rooms where everyone else bombed. Like the opener bombed, the middle bombed, the guest spot bombed, the headliner was funny. And they were real. They were real comedians because they knew how to read a room and they knew how to be funny no matter what. And I knew I couldn't do that. And so it took a long time for me to call myself a comedian. And it took a long time for me to say I'm funny. Now, if somebody brings up, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm funny. Yeah. Of course I'm funny. But it's hard because you just don't know. You're like, I think I'm funny. I think I'm better than I used to be. So you just don't know. You just don't know. Ellie, did you have a good birthday? Happy birthday to Ellie tonight. It's her day. Oh, look, Big Head is here. Big Head came to work. It was like that with art. It took a long time for me to say I'm an artist. Yeah. I think I only know how to be spontaneously funny, not sure how to write funny. Well, Moon, listen, being spontaneously funny is the hard part, right? Like everybody is funny by accident. I think that that's kind of the um, the thing that makes people nervous is like, I'm funny by accident, but like, how do you be funny on purpose? And nobody knows how to do that naturally. But that's the thing is you can learn to write. Moody, you would do really well. I think you're naturally funny. And so part of it is to just find your voice. And your voice is so you. Like you, let me put it this way, you don't know how to be anybody else. I've met you. So you should try it. You should say, I'm going to go to 6 open mics. Like put a number on it and be like, I'm going to go to 6. And if I'm not any better in 6, I mean, I would give it 6 months, but start small. I did not. Kathy said, hi, Jason. She hears you chomping on potato chips. Sorry. No, she said, hi, Jason. Is there a little voice in your house that keeps saying you're going to forget something? Oh, for sure. You know what's funny? I think my purse is over there. But when I first started doing stand-up, I had like a little notebook that I'd write my little, and there's just one word. Like one word could mean 7 minutes of material. Like I just need one word to be like, okay, I know what that is, right? So it's just a notebook filled with one words. And I would bring this notebook up with me and I'd put it on the stool or whatever is up there. And I always did. I'd have my water and I'd have my notebook and I'd come and I'd put it down, whatever. And I worked at this club in Atlantic City, probably 10, 15 years. And I remember the owner one night, I was going on stage and I had been there for such a long time. And he looks at me, he goes, why do you bring this book up? I go, I don't know. I always bring my book up. It just makes it so I don't forget something, Linda, right? Because you always have that thing in your mind, like I'm going to forget something. And he says, I'm going to tell you, you have worked here for 15 years. And in 15 years, not one time have I ever seen you look at this book. And it was funny because I didn't realize he wasn't wrong. I never look at it. He goes, why do you bring it up? And I said, well, in case I forget something. And it's like my whoopee, Linda. I have it so that if something ever happens, I have it. I don't really look at it. It is. Like having music on the piano, but never end up looking at it. Exactly. It's my little security blanket. So everybody's got, their thing and, everybody was like, I would never walk on stage with something in my hand. I'm like, okay, you do you. I don't care. I would never wear those pants. Whatever. So crutch, water bottle holder, you call it whatever you want to call it. I just bring it up and I put it there. And it's funny because I'm not doing as much stand-up as I used to do. So for me now, I actually do kind of look at it every once in a while. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny, Meredith. It is. It's the stuffed animal that I make people wonder about. I was told by a guy I was dating years ago I couldn't do something and wasn't good at something, etc., because he was threatened if I had any success. Some of the best motivation I ever had to do my best is do what makes me happy. Yeah. No. I remember I was Miss New Jersey. I was probably 22, 23, so I was Jacqueline's age. And Sally and I were out at this fancy dinner with this couple that we had kind of gotten to know. And he was like, so what do you want to do? Like, what's your plan after Miss New Jersey? And it's very funny to think about it. But even at 22, 23, I was like, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe trying stand up. And I didn't talk about it very much. And it was me, Sally, and him and his wife. And I said it, which I think is a big deal. I think it's a big deal to say out loud what you want. I think it's really hard. I think most of us never say it out loud. And I said it, and he started laughing. And the three women at the table looked at him. I was like, what's so funny? And he was like, you can't be a stand-up. And Sally was like, why not? She's very funny. And he said, because you're pretty. You're too pretty to be a comedian. Comedians are ugly. You can't be a comedian. He goes, think about it. How many comedians do you know that are attractive? And I don't know, but I do know that it shut me down. Like for a long time, I didn't do stand-up until I was 30. So you figure I got married, had 2 kids before I got past what some dumb guy said at a dinner, right? You're just like, ugh, so gross. But, sadly, we listen to the wrong people and we listen to whatever they think. And yeah, all my husband had to say was, you'll never be able to do that. And suddenly I could, and I would do it successfully. Yeah. Do you get paid for doing stand-up? Yes, that is how I make my living. Yeah, no, Jim, that was the best. Yeah, who is this man and where does he live? I know, it was such a dumb comment. But I was 23, right? Like you listen to people, sadly. And so I think about that, when I talk to Jacqueline, and I feel like I'm probably the only parent that's saying, like, keep going with your poor self. This ends well, like, and I say to my kids all the time, I was like, I think I am probably the only mom that understands exactly what you're going through, because I'm still going through it. Like, there is no security for comedians. There is no like, oh, I have a pension. There's none of that. Like, I was like, I am still in the same, like, I don't get paid unless I do things. Like, it's not like a regular job. It's a very funny becoming somebody that has a gigging lifestyle. It's a constant, you got to hustle, and you've got to learn how to do that. And you've got to have enough things going that, if one of them fails, that you've got this other one to keep you going. And, if your life implodes and you divorce and all your kids move out and you have no place to live, you got to figure it out. And so, I think that is, I think it's important to have, people to talk about that with. And I do feel very blessed when I think about the fact that I know a lot of comedians. I know a lot of comedians that have what we'll call real jobs and get to do stand-up at night. And I have been able to make this my full-time job. But it's very hard to do that. And I hope, you heard tonight, even with Whitney, and she was like, this is my day job. This is my night job. And Kevin's a veterinarian during the day and he does comedy at night. And I think you'll hear more and more of that. And so I feel very blessed. And I thank all of you for being here and all the supporters that help me and allow me to do this every day and to be here. And I always said I wanted to do a talk show, and I don't know, I guess I thought it would be on a network, but yeah, this is kind of nice. And hopefully you all enjoy it in our little corner of the world. But there are so many comedians out there that, are trying to do both and are, still doing their full-time job and doing this until that scale tips, and so that they can do this full time. And so I feel very blessed to do it. And I thank all of you for coming on this crazy journey with me. I started on Facebook in 2010 and, started kind of, the scales tipped once we started going viral in 2016 and all of that. And to be able to do this every day is, is a blessing. So so we'll continue bringing all of these new faces to you, and hopefully you'll find some great comedians in your area that you'll want to follow. But I really do think that the best part is hearing stories like Zach's and Kevin's and Whitney and myself in lots of different ways, and hearing people who are following, the thing that they love and their dream. And I hope all of you will kind of go out and figure out what your thing is, because you never know what you could be doing and what amazing opportunities if you put yourself out there. So that's me on my little soapbox. No, I'm not leaving, Kelly. I'm not going anywhere. I just got on my soapbox for tonight while I drink this bourbon and Boom Boom does whatever she's doing. Mm-hmm. So that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for the morning show. We're gonna be making a smoothie, and then Thursday we're gonna be. Listen, from now on, May 1st is official Plant Your Flowers Day. So Andrea's coming and Diana's coming, and add a little flower and color into your life. It's pretty beautiful. And so I'm excited to do it this year. And we got some fun things coming up in just 3 weeks until Vail. So I hope you enjoy all of these interviews with our comedians. And I think what's great about them is you can go and you can watch their comedy sets. But I really think that the stories behind each of these comedians is what, really drives this art form. And I hope you're enjoying meeting all of them. I know I am. The kitchen is coming along. You'll see tomorrow kind of where we are. It's still in progress, but they're painted and they look so beautiful. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Donna, don't plant your flowers May 1st if you're in Canada. It's a different day for sure. So from myself, from Shakendra Boom Boom Tombs, and everybody at One Funny Mother, thanks for watching Tipsy Tuesday. Thanks for sexy producer Michelle for putting it together. And thanks for watching everybody else. I got to go because I got to be up early tomorrow because I have a show. Okay. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.